welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a reading for the sign of Aries. Okay. Sorry if I'm late and I don't have the angle right and on my camera, but it doesn't matter. I just wasn't feeling well today and I started to get into cleaning, and I decided that I need to show up for myself more. So this is me showing up for myself, because this is something that I very much enjoy. And so anyway, okay, for some reason, ever since I got into your guys' energy, every time I think of doing your guys' reading, I can't stop thinking of Pisces. So I don't know if you guys are dealing with a Pisces, or if you guys have Pisces very strong in your chart, but I just kept hearing Pisces. And then was it Pisces? I did no, it wasn't Pisces, it was Aquarius. So I got into your guys' meditation, and I couldn't silence my thoughts. And so it was almost as if there was a TV turned on and I could just not shut them off. And it was just weird stuff. Like, I don't usually, when I meditate, I can usually get into my meditation. I'll have a thought here and there, and then I'll click off. But it was almost like somebody was switching the channel. Like, commercials were coming in. So it was like one thought, and then it was, oh, I have to do this later, and oh, did I do that? And then what would happen if it was so weird. It wasn't like me. So obviously, you know, this is a meditation on your guys' energy. So this, I feel like this is you guys. It could be one thought after the other, after the other, after the other. There is going to be, just based off of the planetary alignments right now, wherever you have Cancer or your Mars placement, if you have Cancer and Mars, or even where you have Cancer in your chart, there's going to be triggers this week. There's going to be triggers of things coming up from the past. People, there's going to be a lot of people triggering you, especially for fire signs. There's going to be people like wanting to argue with you, or you wanting to argue with people. Little things that normally normally the smaller things that Aries as a sign would kind of let go, is going to be more triggering. Aries have, I mean, you know, the unhealed Aries are the ones that have work to do. They get triggered a little bit more easily, or easier than, you know, Aries that have done more work. But there is going to be a sense right now of, and this is for all the signs, but there is going to be some triggering. There's going to be some things people coming up from the past, but wanting to trigger you. Basically, things being pulled up to be looked at and dealt with. And if you've already dealt with it, then you just kind of look at it and let it go. But there may be some things that you are being pulled up to look at, because it hasn't been completely healed through, right? Okay. So like I said, I do feel like you guys are almost like mind surfing, I guess I'll call it, where there was like thought after thought after thought. It literally just felt like a TV was just going off in my head, and I couldn't stop the thoughts, right? So you're starting off here, and sorry, I don't have a cold, but for some reason my AC's right here, like literally, like I touching it. So I think it just like, I don't know, but it gave me the sniffles right as soon as I started your reading, because I didn't have the sniffles before then. So again, that could be something that you guys are dealing with, maybe a cold with the change of weather. I know anytime the weather drops, like it's been in the 80s here, but it's supposed to drop like to the 60s in 2 days. So I usually get a cold. Anyway, so that could be something that could happen to you guys. But you guys got a Fool's Embrace. So just to reiterate, the way I do my readings, I do an ethereal, and then I bring it down to earth, the 3D, and I pull out the 3D cards with you guys. I meditate on the ethereal cards just so I can get more messages, right? When I pulled your guys' message is so spiritual. It's very potent and very powerful. There seems to be an unlocking of a vault And I'm hearing new gifts, new vaults, not new vaults, an unlocking of a vault, which is going to present new opportunities, new gifts, aligning to places and people that are actually more in alignment. I'll get more into it, because if I start, it's already, the messages are coming in, so I want to go card by card. Okay, so right now there's a feeling of a fragility. There's a feeling of being very fragile, but there's a feeling of being frozen, like a cryogenic freezing. I don't know what movie this is, but I'm seeing a movie where somebody gets hurt and then they get frozen until their healing, or their what they need is found in science or something like that. That's kind of how it feels. Obviously you guys aren't, well, I don't know, maybe you guys are, but there's a sense of being frozen here while you guys are healing. And do you see on top of the head of the, whatever this is with wings, a fairy, whoever this is, it has spikes on it. So you guys are being very protected right now, because right now you guys are healing. You guys are going into a deep healing. You guys are starting to transmute the pain. I feel like there was some things that in the past, because after this card we have the power of purpose, and the card next to it was a time machine. Do you see how those two look almost like the same? Okay, so when I saw these two cards, for some reason, when I saw this first card, the first thing I thought of was the Power Rangers. You know how when they were, yes, my brothers used to watch Power Rangers, so I would sit and watch it sometimes. You know how when they would transform into whatever they would transform? Because I know I'm kind of thinking of Transformers, but no, they would like do this dial thing from their belt or something, and their uniform, or they would transform into a dragon. I don't remember, it's been a long time. Okay, but so I feel like you guys are putting on, like, I'm just hearing like Iron Man, like your protective iron suit, which reminds me of this, where you guys are protected because you guys are being vulnerable. Because when you're healing, when you go through surgery, whatever you have done, right, if you have any kind of surgery, that cut, that scar, that wound is tender. Nobody touch it, right? Don't look at it, don't touch it, don't anything until it heals. And it's the same exact thing with emotions, with feelings, with all of that. When you're healing and you're being reminded of things that really cause you pain, things that you went through life but you didn't even deal with it, you compartmentalized it. And people think, oh, I'll compartmentalize, I won't deal with this, I'll just put it away in a little box, and I'll deal with it later, I won't deal with it all. We don't have to deal with it. No, that doesn't heal anything. In fact, all that does is it builds a black seed, what is in your spirit, and it continues to grow. It grows and it starts to have you behave and think and treat people a certain way, because you have this rotten seed that is poisoning your mind against certain subjects. For instance, trusting people, or money, whatever it is that it is that you guys are working through, relationships, the way you should be treated. It puts a poison in that tree, and it's growing a poisonous plant. I don't know why it switched from tree to plant, but I just heard a poisonous plant. Right? So what's happening now is that your body is being activated, and this week, because of the planetary, the way that the planets are, there's going to be a lot of raw emotion coming out. And I feel like you guys are putting on your armor, and it feels like you're going back in time. Do you see how this one has a clock? It has a clock, and it's going back in time, like in a time machine. I'm hearing, not only are you going back, you're traveling back in time, and you're seeing all of those situations that we're in, situations that caused you pain. I'm even hearing situations where you caused the pain, because remember, we're always, there's not a single person in life that hasn't been the bad guy in a situation, one situation or another. Obviously there are people that that's their title, right? That's what they know how to do. But we're always a karmic to somebody else. We always, there's a lesson there. We can't always be, you know, the perfect angel. Or even like if it's something that happens that's not necessarily negative, but the other person will take it negative, correct? So I'm hearing you're not only going back in time, but I'm hearing there's going to be a lot of sense of regret, which you shouldn't regret anything that you do. It's a sense of a lesson. You're learning the lesson, and it's to learn better. It's to learn to do better. It's to learn to be a better person. It's in the future when you're in the same situation, you choose differently, right? You treat somebody better. You choose to do things in a different way. And so I'm hearing a lot of you guys wanting to go back in time, wanting to pick a lot of regret over making the wrong choices. Oh, I wish I had done this. Oh, I wish I hadn't gone with this person. I wish I hadn't treated them this way, right? But you can't go back in time. You made your choices, and now it's time to learn from the choices that you've made. The decisions that you make, we all have free will, and we decide how we want to treat people. We decide how we want to react to the way we're being triggered and the way we take things that are being said to us, correct? And obviously there's different ways to look at certain things, because of course if you're in like a toxic relationship and there's, you know, reactive abuse, that's something different, right? You're reacting and because there's abuse in the relationship. And even then, I have been through those situations and I still felt regret, even though I shouldn't have, because I was reacting, I was protecting myself. But even then there's regret, wanting to have been a better person, wanting to have chosen differently. But at the time, that was the right choice. That was the right thing to do. Okay? And this Fool's Embrace, the transmuting pain, this was at the bottom of the deck, which I always take that as the energy you're in as of right now that's surrounding you. And then the reading, starting with the Power Rangers belt and the time traveling card, is what's coming in and kind of what you're going through or starting to go through, okay? Because you guys are going through a completion. There is a completing here of a cycle, a completing of, yeah, things are changing. Things are changing right now. We can always be in different cycles at once. We can be in 2 or 3 cycles at once. You can be in a cycle in friendships, love, marriage, money, cycles in health, those kinds of things. So there is a cycle completing right now, and I feel like this cycle is closing out things from the past and pain from the past. That's what this cycle is about. This is the regrets, the pains, everything we just went through, the wanting to go back in time, but not being able to go back in time. You can't go back in time. It's already happened. But I do feel like there are new doors, new opportunities where you're actually going to be able to go in and you're going to make new choices because you've learned from your mistakes. I don't like to call them mistakes, right? Because they're just lessons. Everything's a lesson. They're just things that we do that we didn't know better at that time, or we just made the choice and maybe you felt like it was the wrong choice. But this door is closing. This is a door of completion. You've completed certain lessons and it's time to close the door. It's time to close the door on the past people, on past memories, on past heartbreaks, past thought mentalities, like lack mentality in anything that you feel you're lacking. Because really this is just my opinion, but we're a society of having too much of everything. But that lack mentality of thinking that money doesn't come in, whatever it is that you think you're lacking, right? Because that is, whenever you have lack mentality, the universe will send you more things to lack. Because that's just the way it works. It sends you proof of what you believe in. So there's a sense of needing to change that. I'm needing to change the way you think, closing the door on all those things from even past lives. I'm hearing things from the past lives. It's time to close the doors on repeating cycles, repeating karmic lessons, repeating relationships with karmic people, repeating things from past lives, like continuing to do the same shit over and over and over. It's asinine. It's time to move on. And that's coming from someone who has repeated lessons time and time again, right? Because you're coming in to a sense of a new, not even a new id, not even a new ego. It's a sense of not knowing who you are, starting from the beginning. A disowned girl. There's a sense of being lost right now. And this picture right here, I'll show it to you guys again, but it looks like a little girl that's just sitting, and she's becoming part of the forest. She's becoming part of nature. Once you unlearn everything that's been false, you become an empty book, because you're learning things for what they truly are, not the things that you were told you were. You're not good enough. You shouldn't do this because you're that. You'll never do this. Once you remove all of those things that weren't even put there by you, they were put in there by family, friends, relationships, society, TV, news, all of that, fashion. Those are all false beliefs. Those are all things that were created by man to make money. Once you remove those ideas that that's not who you are, and all those beliefs that aren't true, you start to sit in almost an empty, I want to say shell. Yeah, it's almost like a trunk that's empty. Here, I'll show you guys. This looks like a little girl or a kid just sitting and becoming rooted with the earth. Becoming one with the earth and having like just becoming one with the earth, because you don't have any of these false ideas. And again, remember, we are all one. The earth, the water, the trees, we all are connected. And people forget that. They think, oh, it's just a tree. No, it's not just a tree. Everything is connected. Hang on one second, guys. There's so much red in all of your guys' cards. There's so much red. So there's this, yeah, there's so much red, but there's green at the beginning and the end of those cards. So there's a lot of heart healing going on. And I feel like there's a lot of sitting. There needs to be a lot of sitting in nature. But there's also a lot of beliefs that you guys are letting go and becoming one with, I feel like, nature. But you guys have a lot of ancestors and guides that are guiding you right now. There's a lot of nature. There's a lot of leaves. You guys are releasing. That's what it is. You guys are releasing all those leaves, and they're falling like a crown onto your head. So all those leaves that are being released are all negative thoughts, negative patterns, negative people, I'm hearing. You're never stuck in a situation. You just choose to be stuck there. That's what I'm hearing. The disowned self. And I'm also hearing, like Pinocchio, I'm not a real boy. There's a feeling of, because you're losing your sense of what your ego was holding on to, you have no idea who you are anymore. But that's a good thing. When you have no idea who you are anymore, when you don't have those false ideologies of what people told you you should or are, that's when you start to understand and learn about yourself without false ideologies. You understand who you are. It's reminding me of that movie, The Runaway Bride, where the girl, every time she's like engaged to somebody or dating somebody, she likes the same egg as the guy. And when she's asked what kind of eggs do you like when she's single, she doesn't know. Or like she's engaged to that guy and she's like, oh, I like those eggs. And she's like, and the reporter was like, how is it that every time you're dating somebody you like the same exact eggs? Because she didn't know who the fuck she was. Her identity was based off of relationships and other people. She had no idea. So when she finally ended up at the end of the movie, sorry if I'm ruining this movie, but this movie's like, I don't know, 25 years old, 30 years old. she ends up going and taking all the eggs she can and makes a bunch of different styles, and she finally figures out what kind of egg she actually likes. Not because she's with someone else, not because she's taking on somebody else's identity because she's with them. She starts to learn who the fuck she is because she no longer is becoming one with someone else, right? Because that's what people think that they should do. So right now there's a feeling of hollowness, there's a feeling of emptiness, there's a feeling of, I'm hearing disassociation, which, you know, it's not necessary, it is not the greatest feeling, but it's not the worst feeling, especially if it's done for the right reasons. When you're disassociated because you're in pain, that's not the greatest thing, right? But when you're disassociating because what you've heard and what you used to believe no longer resonates anymore, that's the greatest thing in the world, right? Because you no longer believe all the bullshit you were lied and fed. You're now believing or starting to find out who the fuck you are on your own. And you're allowing the universe and people and books and music to become your muse. You're starting to pick up different projects, doing different things to find out who you are, doing different things to feel what makes your soul hungry for life, right? There's this kitty, the kitty has a violin, trying out different music. He has a paintbrush. Sorry guys, I get downloads and I can't talk and download at the same time sometimes, so if I pause, that's why. There's muses. I'm hearing some of you guys even like refuse to wear glasses because it was a part of your identity. It was a part of like you didn't want to look like, I'm hearing not sexy, which is the weirdest thing in the world. I can't live without my glasses. And so I'm hearing like, do you see this cat? He's wearing glasses. And so when I was looking at the cat, I kept hearing, look at his glasses. And I was like, okay, a cat with glasses. But then I heard identity. So there's even some people, some of you guys, or this, no, this is you guys. I don't feel like this is a crotch watchers week. Wouldn't wear glasses because some of you guys cared so much about your appearance to the rest of the world that you guys didn't even want to wear glasses because you felt like that would take away from how you looked. It wasn't, when people wear glasses, they're assumed to be nerds or whatever, like not good looking. I don't know, that's just what I'm hearing. I have never had that thought in my life, and even if it was, I wouldn't give a shit. I would wear my glasses because I can't see, so I don't give a shit. But I'm hearing you guys are picking up a bunch of it's the same thing. I'm just getting the same thing. It's with that movie where she goes and she's trying out all those different eggs to see exactly what kind of egg she likes. There's art, music. You guys are starting to, not that you're starting to care less about what you look like, obviously, you know, but you're starting to care less what people think of what you look like, which is the point. What do you give a shit what people think of what you look like, right? Okay, I am going to bring this down to 3D. I'm going to use my zombie deck because, you know, it's Halloween. So this deck's a little bit newer. It's a little bit harder to shuffle. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so let's clarify the power of purpose, which obviously, you know, your purpose, it's your purpose. You're starting to understand your purpose. You're starting to learn what you want in life. I'm not taking all of those and they all fell down. I'm not taking 6 cards to clarify 1 card. Okay, can you clarify the power of purpose? You got the Queen of Cups. Yeah, look at this. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Do you see how this zombie, she's sitting here indulging at the beach, eating brains, allowing herself to enjoy the sun, even though she's dead, right? She's just being herself and not giving a crap that she's dead. You know, she's a zombie and whoever's around, she's enjoying just eating her brains, enjoying the water, cleansing herself in the water, a bottle of alcohol. You know, there's a sense here of doing self-care, but trying out different things and doing them alone. Go to a restaurant to eat alone. Go have drinks by yourself. Being able to enjoy your own company. On learning who you are and what you like and what you don't like. It could be that you still like all the same things, but now you know, you're starting to realize that you like those things because you know you like them, not because those ideologies were put in your mind. Clarifying time machine is the Fool and the Five of Wands. Yeah, there's a new start here. Hang on. You're fighting here for a new start. You're fighting here for a new start. And what you're doing is, do you see how these two people are fighting? This reminds me of like when an iPhone comes out and everybody wants it. And look, this person has taken themselves out of the fight. They're taking themselves out and leaving themselves in the cold so they can have a new start. But being themselves, loving themselves, finding the person they want to be with. Or if they're with the person they want to be with, having a new start, but doing things differently, understanding who you are and what you want to do, and trying new things. But you are fighting for a new start, and you're removing yourself from things that don't resonate with you anymore, and releasing things from the past, exactly like the time machine said. The Tower, closing the door, completion, releasing people. The Tower right here, I can't really see, it's kind of dark in my room. They're actually having a party in here. The Tower, this is releasing people, things, habits. I'm hearing habits, bad habits. Drinking too much, eating unhealthy. I don't believe in not doing, if you want to drink every once in a while, if you want to smoke every once in a while, as long as you're not hurting somebody else or hurting yourself. I don't believe in, denying yourself of anything that you want. If you don't want to do any of it, that's fine. But if it's something that is controlling your life, then at that point it is not good. And that's including sex. If something you're addicted to, then it's no longer healthy, right? And so I'm hearing releasing all of those things that have control over you. If they have control over you, you no longer have control over you. And that's people as well. Relationships. This gave me too many. I'm going to take the top one. Clarifying the root girl, the disowned girl, is the King of Cups. Look how this person is submerged. This is a leader that's submerged in water. There is going to be so much emotion coming out from this person, but you are becoming a leader in your own right. Understanding what it is and what it isn't that you want in life, but it's going to come through transmuting pain. And through pain, you have to do it through water. Crying, releasing. That is how you transmute pain. You have to feel those emotions. If you don't feel the pain, you're not going to feel the healing. You have to go through it to come out of it. When you go through surgery, you have to go through the pain of the surgery. Yeah. 33, the Joy of the Muse, is clarified by the Queen of Wands, which is a nurse, a zombie nurse. And then the Three of Hazards, which is coming together. So coming together that with things and people that are going to show you that there is a way to be gentle. There is a way to show your emotions and feel vulnerable and not feel like you can't be who you were born naturally and you were told, oh, you're a man, you can't cry, crying is for pussies, blah blah blah. Or, you know, you're so sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? People shouldn't be sensitive. Whatever it is, whatever bullshit storylines you were sold, all of that is bullshit. It's a lie. It's a lie. You can be whoever you want, and you're going to be surrounded with people that are going to allow you to be yourself and allow you to grow as who you were naturally meant to be and whoever it is that you feel like you should be, and not make you feel bad for showing emotions or being your authentic self, right? All right, Aries, that is all I have for you today. I'm gonna leave it there because my time is up. But I hope I will see you guys soon, and I hope this message helped. Bye.